If I gotta wake you up to motivate you to change your life financially, your status, the rest of your career, I'm not the right coach for you.
From the side, guys, everything's fine. I'm going to my left. Everything's fine. Do you see how much clearance I have? That's it. I will not, in today's day and world, everyone has taught you here. I won't get away with this. Like, there's not a scout that's going to let you do that. So don't cheat the system, right? Know the rules. Work within the rules. So square it up and then just give yourself a little bit of clearance. You just need enough to drive across. Because, look, once I'm here, bang, I could drive across. But if I'm completely flat, right, I can't. Like, I just can't do it. I have to roll my hip over. But if I'm even back here, it also puts me at a disadvantage also because I don't get enough. If I'm staggered that much, I don't get as wide of a step versus because I don't get a push off on this leg. But if I was here, I could push off that leg too. So sometimes you're trying to over cheat the system and it ends up hurting you. Does that make sense? So if you think about it that way, just put yourself in the best position and then execute those techniques and that's it. And then we'll just fine tune them. Guys, do not lean. Do not come here and lean. Just load it where it feels like there's resistance. And then when it's go time, let the gate go and take off. Does that make sense? Pretend there's a wall there holding you up and load it. Like just push up against it, but don't lean, because if you lean, there's no tension anymore. Load the joint, load the position. When it's time to go and you make that conscious effort, push all your energy away from the line and go down to this one. Ready? Set, load, go! Go! Good.
What's two ways for me to get faster? That's it. Basic. That's it. Go back to when you're 5 years old or 2 years old. How can I get fast? If I see this big guy and he's chasing me with a bat, you think I'm gonna run damn fast? Correct? Or if he got $1 million in his hand and I want that thing, you don't think I'm gonna run fast after him? So I'm either chased or I'm being chased. Right? Everybody talks about game speed, and oh man, I'm not the fastest 40 guy. When I get off the field, man, I can fly, right? Correct? You guys all hear about that. Probably some of you guys might even act like that when you're on the field. All right? Two ways to get fast. Basic. I'm being chased or I'm chasing something. All right? So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna chase, we're gonna be chased. Up! Left! Go!
Rick started with, or ended us, started with a little bit of reaction speed work and acceleration, because what we're gonna do is a lot of vision stuff, and it starts with, there's things where it's like, hey guys, think about this, right? If I'm racing, if I'm racing Teldrick, right? Like we all get it, like I was tempoing him, working with him just to embarrass him a little bit. We all know he is faster than me. But if I said, hey, we're running 40 yards, but at the starting block, we're gonna go off of Austin at the 40 yard, and I'm standing there, I'm in my stance, I'm ready to go, and he's got a blindfold on, and I'm watching Austin's hand go down, I'm going to react faster. He's gonna then react off of me, and I'll probably be able to beat him, right? If Teldrick, right, had his eyes off, right, had the blindfold off, he was looking at Austin, I was here, and I had, you know, 2010, 2015 vision, great vision. He might be dealing with 2020, 2030, right? He's not as clear, right? I still might be able to get a little extra reactionary bump. You gotta be able to see the things you're hitting. You gotta be able to see the places that you're trying to go. You have to be able to react. Now, if I was wearing the blindfold and I had to react off him, I'd probably still embarrass him. But the goal is we gotta get us to react faster. That might give you a little bit of an edge. So one of the things that we're gonna do here is to work with visual cognition, visual ignition, right? I want to get some visual performance training in. And you have to have a reaction off of that. It's not just training your eyes, even though that is extremely important. It's training your eyes and your brain to then react and do the things that you want it to do. Approach the line, you will set your feet. You don't need to measure anything. You'll set your feet, which is where you know you stand. You'll visualize your 40, you'll take a deep breath, relax, let all your stress out. Tunnel vision, there is nothing going on in your life right now. This is the only thing that matters. You'll take a breath, you'll take a knee. Okay, from that position, you'll set up a 4-point stance, lock your feet in. Post up with your left hand, halfway back. Right hand goes on the line. You'll take your breath, cock your hand back at 90, and you'll take off. Any questions? I'll walk you through it, all right? And then what I want you to do is we'll start tightening up your technique a little bit. Ready to go? Approach the line. Visualize the finish. Take a knee. Hips up, lock your feet in. Left hand halfway back to post. Right hand on the line. Try to drive that left knee down. Set, go! The next thing that some of you guys are doing, and this is general, not all of you are doing this, but we do want to focus on it. And actually the one that's not doing it is the big guy because he understands how to load things. He's constantly in this, ankle blocked position. So the ankle's blocked off so it doesn't move. He understands that if you blocked on your tippy toes, you're pretty much fucked, right? So it's really easy. He actually just leans right back and then just pushes forward. Most everybody else is doing this counter motion to get out of the hole. And what I mean by that is you're here and you're up a little bit. You guys see how my heels are a little high? So then when I take off, I drop down to take off. And what you want to do is you want to drive your heels into the ground and your knees forward so they're at a more accelerated angle. You want to get real aggressive. Anybody get video from me that showed that your angles were 40 degrees higher? We can't have that. We got to drive that into the ground. So the knee, we got to drive our heels back, but then our knee down. So then it locks that ankle box in, pre-stretched, and then explode. And what I mean by that is here. So if I'm here, instead of dropping down, I'm preloading this position and then I'm pushing out. And my ankles don't kick back like that. That's a waste of time. Before I even go forward, I'm kicking back and they're hitting that clock. So I need your ankles to be blocked off so when I push, it's bang, out of the hole. And it's not wasted. So this time I want you to think when you get your stance here, hold that position, drive the ankles, the heels down and the knee down at the same time. And then push off. Ready? Approach the line. Hold on a second. How do you feel? Because you were down, right? Now, if you can just trust yourself and then strike the ground, you can use that going that way. All right? That's what happens when you have wrestlers try to run a 40. So understand, guys, the only thing that's holding you back from running the time that you want is you. You just got to release that energy. You guys seen a movie before where the guy gets shocked by an electric wire or something and he bounces back 30 feet? You ever seen that? What's contracting? Every muscle fiber in his body. The cable doesn't throw him back, right? The cable doesn't do shit. His body has the capability of exploding 30 feet backwards because every fiber contracts at a rate that is life or death. And that body involuntarily just goes bang! And that's what you have to do to the ground back there. It's got to be like an explosion struck the ground at the right angle. Because if you explode into the ground here, but your body's not stiff, you're just going to release that energy throughout each vertebrae and each joint. But if you explode the ground and you're stiff, and all of a sudden I go up. But if I'm at a good angle and I strike the ground back, what's going to happen if I'm stiff? I'm going forward. That's the difference. And that's the way you should hit everybody when you play the game. That's the way when you block, you punch them as hard as you can. Like literally you're on Mortal Kombat and you want to rip their freaking heart out of their chest. And that's how I think. I know it's a little bit nuts, but this game is not for people that are somewhat sane. Like they've got to be a little bit outside of the comfort zone of mental stability. And when you run, that's how you have to run. Yes, it needs to be relaxed. Yes, we'll get there. But we have to run with intent. We have to be violent when we strike the ground. Control your breathing. Understand where your power goes. Hit your angles. Bam, take off. That's it. You do that every single time. You do that on every block. You do that on every single, ball that goes your way. Every route, every cut. Every guy that comes across the middle and you want to literally just take their life away from them, I promise you'll get a shot. That's the way you have to approach it. There's $500,000 on the line if you're just number 53. You don't even need to be number 1 right now. You just got to make sure that you make that spot. But before we even get there, we have to give ourselves that opportunity. And it's got to be violent there first.